Hello, it's Ed. Welcome to the studio. Thanks for joining me again. Today I'm going to be out shooting street photography as per usual, but I'm going to be shooting using a diffusion filter. I know a lot of people use sort of pro mist filters as a regular thing to give nicer highlights, to reduce contrast, to give a more retro analog cinematic look, but it's not something that I've really tried, and so I'm going to give it a go with my digital camera. I might try it on my film camera at a later date, but I want to try it with my digital camera. Now, I can't afford to spend hundreds of pounds or over £100 on an expensive pro mist filter, so I've found a budget option on Amazon. I've found a filter which is a black mist filter, so it's a quarter. The diffusion, you go from 1/2, quarter, eighth. So I've gone for a quarter, so it's a little bit of a milder look, but not the mildest look. I will let you decide what you think, and it would be really great to hear your thoughts in the comments. I'll give my thoughts as I go along. Okay, so I've come into Manchester. I have my Lumix as usual, and I have my filter. I'm going to take pictures without and with. Side by side, we'll see which looks the best, see if there's a difference, see if it's worth using, see if it spoils things. Right, let's crack on while we've got this lovely light. So here you can see 100% crops from the camera. These are raw files. They've not been edited, post-processed at all. I've just cut a section out which best shows the effect, and it's a very, very subtle effect. There is a slight reduction in contrast in the spray and the one with the filter. But if we move on to the next picture, which is the reflection in a window, you can see that the starburst with the filter is a lot more diffuse than the one without the filter. And here is a piece of architecture in Manchester city centre, and again you can see on the left the diffusion is having a slight effect both in the sky and in the reflection on the building. To be honest, at the time I couldn't actually see any difference in these pictures. It was only when I got back to the studio and processed the pictures and had a look at them on screen and zoomed into 100% that I could actually tell that there was a difference between the two shots. I was thinking, is it Emperor's New Clothes? Because I couldn't see any difference. What I'll do is I'll just try testing it now with some things in the studio. And we're going to start off by taking a picture of the light that I actually light myself with. Here it is really clear what the diffusion filter is doing. The one on the left, you can't see the outline of the frame of the light box at all. On the right, you can see quite clearly the edges. There is a lot more haze, a lot more spread on the picture to the left. I'm going to try and do a portrait of myself using this camera fixed here to see if there's any actual visible smoothing effect of the filter. This portrait, it's almost imperceptible again, the difference, but if you look at the eyes on the picture to the left with the filter, they are slightly lighter. You can see more detail in the irises than you can in the picture on the right. Okay, so I think the shots I took in the studio prove that the filter is working, and I think I get the most out of it shooting in the evening straight into some lights, so I'm going to do that now. This nighttime image, it's really hard to see any difference between the filter and without the filter. But if you go to this next one where I took a picture which was lit by neon lights, it's quite clear that the diffusion filter is diffusing those neon lights around the signage, and it's, I think, a much nicer, softer, dare I say it, more cinematic look. And again, if we look at this picture of a clothes shop called Vintage Wardrobe, the neon signs again are definitely more diffused by the filter. So it seems like anything with neon in it works really well. So after all that testing, I think I'm actually going to keep this filter on my Lumix full time, because the effect when it is on a suitable subject looks really nice, and the rest of the time it doesn't seem to be making any difference whatsoever, so it's just protecting the lens. It may be that after more and more testing I see that it's doing something that I don't want it to do in ordinary conditions, but so far it seems to be invisible except when it's doing something positive. Okay, so what did you think of the filter? Other cameras might perform differently with it, but what do you think of the results? Let me know in the comments. Until we meet again, have a fantastic week. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy what you're shooting. Bye for now.